Now, before we get started, I would really love if you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can get the latest content from the YouTube channel, The Last Rewind. And don't be shy about leaving your comments at the bottom of the page because you are the sole reason why this channel will be successful. Thank you. Hey, welcome back to The Last Rewind. Before we get started with today's interesting topic, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you can get notifications of new episodes of the greatest podcast ever. Okay, maybe I'm over-exaggerating, but it's one of them, The Last Rewind. So, what we're going to talk about today is one of my favorite fighters. We're going to go back a little bit in time. We're going to go back to, first off, 1990. But the fighter I'm talking about is Evander Holyfield. Now, Evander Holyfield came in around one of the hardest periods of heavyweight boxing ever. You know, and some people will say, of course, the 70s, where there was Ali, there was Foreman, there was Frazier, Ken Norton, just to name a few. But this one was equally as destructive. You know, you had Lennox Lewis, Riddick, Bowe, of course, Evander Holyfield, Tyson for a short period. Depends on how you look at it, because there's pre-conviction Tyson and then there's after conviction Tyson. So some people care for him, some people don't care for him, because some people say he wasn't the same. I'm in that demographic to say he wasn't quite the same, that he was not the same trained fighter that he was not even just before the conviction, but when he started changing up his managers, his trainers, and especially when I think he got with Don King, that he wasn't quite the same Mike Tyson. He wasn't as laser focused as he used to be. But Evander Holyfield was, he was a cruiserweight, and then he became a heavyweight, an undersized heavyweight at that. In fact, if I got this correct, Evander was only 205 pounds. And this fight that I'm about to talk about is just the Evander Holyfield versus Riddick Bowe fight, the first one. Riddick Bowe was 235 pounds. 30-pound difference between them, and he also was much taller than him. Well, not much, but 3 inches is pretty big. But before he even got to that fight, Holyfield became champion by beating the guy that beat Mike Tyson. Again, going back to Mike Tyson being laser focused anymore, he got beat by Buster Douglas in the fight of his life. And Buster Douglas, for whatever reason, once that motivation was gone, that he had to beat Tyson, it left. He became out of shape, depressed, and he fought Holyfield, and I think it ended in maybe the first or second round by knockout. And if you look at that fight, Douglas didn't even look like he wanted to continue after he got knocked down. He looked like he could have got up, and he just kind of lay there thinking, like, what's the point? I don't want to be here anyway. And Evander Holyfield won the fight fair and square, but he was criticized until he fought Bowe for saying he fought tomato cans, if you will. So he beat Douglas out of shape. And right after that, let's see, who did he face? He faced George Foreman, who, if you're not familiar with him, there was 2 stories of George Foreman. There's the menacing boxer, George Foreman, who didn't smile, had not a caring bone in his body. He went there to kill people in the ring. I think that would have been an accurate description of him if you ask him of his early years. And then he retired, found God, came back, sold grills, and became a happy spokesman for any person that would take him. Meineke, I think, was another one he did. And also he did commentary for a lot of boxing matches. So he was attempting to come back and become the oldest heavyweight champion of all time. But alas, it was too early in his journey, and he lost. He was 42 when he fought Holyfield. And a lot of people criticize him for fighting out of shape, and some will say over the hill boxer. So he got no respect for that. Then he fought a journeyman named Burt Cooper. And he was favored to win. Burt Cooper knocked him down for his first knockdown in his career, Holyfield's career. And I would say he got some respect off of this fight, at least from me, because you get more respect when you're put in a place where you're uncomfortable and you fight back and rally and win. He almost lost. He had to rally back. He was going to lose that match and lose his belt. He had all 3 belts. He had the WBA, WBC, and IBF titles then. So he was the undisputed champion and undefeated at that point. And he had everything to lose. And he could have just panicked and could have been like Buster Douglas and just like, what's the point? But his what's the point was different than Buster Douglas. His what's the point was, I know I'm the better fighter. I know I have heart. And I know I can win this fight. And he rallied and won the fight in the end. Ended up knocking him down or knocking him out. And then his next fight, which did not help his reputation again, was Larry Holmes. He fought Larry Holmes, who was 43 at the time. So even older than the time when he fought George Foreman. Larry Holmes was another person from that herald 70s generation of boxers and fought all into the 80s. He's another legend. He's actually the one people get mad at for beating Muhammad Ali when Muhammad Ali should have been retired. And but he does not get his credit as a boxer. He has one of the best jabs of any boxer I've ever seen, and he doesn't get his credit. He doesn't get his flowers. He's still alive, so at the time of this recording, he does not get his flowers for being a very sound boxer and technical boxer. But Holyfield ended up winning that one in a 12-round unanimous decision. And then he also was trying to fight Mike Tyson. And a couple of times Mike Tyson got injured, so he pulled lame, and Holyfield had to go on and fight and defend his belt. The next time he tried to fight him, of course, the infamous conviction. And then Mike Tyson was gone for a while. And I will do a video probably in the future about when Mike Tyson tried to make his comeback and then he fought Holyfield twice. And yeah, we'll just wait and I'll do a video on that. But I'm sure most of you guys know what happened on the first and second time. But getting to the main fight, what we're going to talk about, we're not even going to talk about the entire fight. I'm going to talk about one round in particular, and that is round 10 between Holyfield and Riddick Bowe in their first meeting. Again, as I was talking about, to prove how tough you are, to prove what kind of heart, what kind of champion you are. If you're put in a tough position, you're back in the corner, and it looks like all odds are against you, and you still fight through all those things, a lot of times you can earn respect even in a loss. You know, we talked about how he came back versus Burt Cooper, got knocked down for his first time in his career, and he ended up winning that. But it's rare to see someone lose a fight, which he did. He lost versus Riddick Bowe, and Riddick Bowe became champion in their first meeting. But it's rare for someone to get more respect in a loss than in a win. And Evander Holyfield did that here in this fight. And I'm going to play round 10 just to see what we're talking about here. And also to say the fact, they both were undefeated at the time. Holyfield was 30. Riddick Bowe was 25. Riddick Bowe had a 31-0 record. Holyfield 28-0 record. And Holyfield was a 7-5 favorite. And again, going back to their weight, Holyfield was 6'2", 205 pounds. Riddick Bowe was 6'5", 235 pounds. So he was a giant compared to him. And Riddick Bowe was a worthy fighter. But let's see how round 10 went for Holyfield and Riddick Bowe, and why it is considered one of the greatest rounds in boxing history.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Michael Buffer, man, is rich for only saying, let's get ready to rumble. What, 5 words? He has the easiest job, I would say, of anybody besides maybe Vanna White.
Riddick, Big Daddy Bowe. Presenting the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Evander, real deal, Holyfield.
Come on, baby. Referee.
Last minute has been a little bit kinder to Evander Holyfield. He's been doubling
Okay,
up on
this is
some
round
shots.
9. A few seconds, we're going to go into round 10. And this is the pivotal round of Riddick, Bowe, Evander Holyfield
Basically
1.
ignoring the referee. Right hand by Holyfield, and again he shook the sweat off of Bowe, but didn't move the man.
Reds here. Give me the water. The water. The water.
Riddick Bowe had like a Ali type of personality inside and outside the ring. He was a very funny guy.
But the referee, despite the number of those low blows, has not taken a point away from Riddick Bowe as yet.
Round 10 begins. If they complete this round, Riddick Bowe will have gone just as far as he's ever gone before in a professional prize fight.
Tagging Holyfield.
Riddick Bowe is able to land 3 good combinations now. Evander Holyfield can have.
Okay, so what's getting ready to happen? Riddick Bowe is going to hit Holyfield with a low shot, body shot on the side. Then he's going to uppercut him, and then that's when you'll see Evander Holyfield be in trouble, and you're going to see how he has to fight back to make it one of the most thrilling rounds in boxing history.
His first visit to the campus. He's been a gentleman all this time.
Here we go. One side to side, uppercut.
So
There
you
we
see
go.
Holyfield going down in this round, and Bowe stuns him with an uppercut, and just like that, the champion struggles to stay on his feet. What a heart by Holyfield.
He's going to stay on his feet.
He's hanging in there. Gets away
Look
from
at
the
that
right hand,
defense.
blocks another one. Bowe throwing and throwing, now goes to the body.
Now, a normal person or a less than fighter would have already went down because he's throwing some heavy shots at him. But his defense is deflecting a lot of those shots from landing flush. So during this time, he's taking all these punches. He's able to kind of recuperate and, as you'll see, make a comeback. What's on the bad end of this is Riddick Bowe is throwing all these heavy shots. He's going to get tired, and he's going to punch himself out, and he's not going to have any more energy to land any more heavy shots or power punches. And that is going to set up Evander Holyfield to try to make the comeback in this round.
Holyfield somehow standing up, but staying too close to Bowe. Joe Cortez watching. Champion gets the benefit of
Running out of gas.
That was a right uppercut that started that.
Look at Holyfield
Now Bowe has got
right
to
here.
start all over again.
And Holyfield weathers the storm and comes back throwing.
If Bowe starts over all over again.
Can't say there ain't no fighting that guy.
Let's see if he has the patience. Evander Holyfield's incredible powers of recovery once again on display. Remember how he came back from the knockdown against Cooper and threw one of the great left hooks you've ever seen about 30 seconds later.
See, he was talking about Burt Cooper, the fight where he knocked down Holyfield for the first time in his career. And he showed a massive heart in that fight. And this is much more thrilling than that fight.
At that time, Evander could see.
Fight that he's going to lose.
Evander Holyfield has no vision at all. That left.
And look at Holyfield's face at that point. He looks like how Frazier looked during the trilogy with Ali, where his eyes were swole shut, his cheekbones were swole too, and he looked worse for wear. And you would have thought after the fight to see his face that he's the one automatically that lost. Same thing with here, is Holyfield was losing most of the rounds of this fight. He was having an uphill battle trying to make a comeback. And if he lost this round, then it pretty much was over. Even if he probably had won this round and won all the last few rounds, last 3 rounds, he probably wasn't going to win anyway unless he got a knockout. So he was fighting an uphill battle anyway, and he could have just called it in. But, you know, when you got the heart of a champion like Holyfield, no matter what, if you're down 11-12 in the rounds of the fight, you're going to keep fighting. There's always a chance.
Thing in his life. Bowe is only rested from all of those punches he threw.
And Holyfield goes back to the right-hand lead.
Holyfield's about to make his comeback.
Which has been consistently good to him tonight.
Bowe is tired. There you go.
Bowe should be taking that kind of advice.
Look at Holyfield. What a warrior. Reversing the tide of the battle. The champion now has Bowe.
Here you go. Pow.
And he lands the right hand. Everybody in the Thomas and Mack Center.
I love listening to Jim Lampley call boxing matches.
Because he knows he was only resting at that point. Evander Holyfield has got a heart.
If he weighs 205, his heart weighs about 204.
This is an amazing show, guys. I don't think he can win the fight at this rate. But just to have recovered from that beating is astonishing, I think, to most of us at ringside.
So even Jim Lampley is saying, I don't think he can win the fight at this point. I think he was saying, not just from a point standpoint, but that he probably didn't think he had a knockout punch in him. Because that was also a knock on Holyfield, is he didn't really have the strongest knockout punch, like a one-hitter quitter, you know, but he could tire you out and then, you know, and eventually knock you out in the later rounds. But he wasn't known as like a Mike Tyson first-round knockout guy or Deontay Wilder. But, you know, he had quite a few knockouts on his resume, but he wasn't known as having the biggest knockout power, you know, also like a George Foreman. But he, you know, he held his own in the boxing ring. But that's to say, in the later rounds, where he's been weakened, he's tired, he's beat up. Like I said, his eyes are swole shut. They didn't think he was likely that he was going to knock this guy out at this point. But to win this round, they didn't think he was going to win this round either. So you never can say never with a guy like this.
If he can, Bowe goes right back to the left jab, start all over. Forget he's knocked this guy almost out. Go back to the left jab, start everything off.
All right, here comes the last flurry.
This round should be greeted with a standing ovation at the end. You've seen the best of both men.
Standing toe to toe.
A right hand by Holyfield.
Here we go.
And another.
Okay, last punches.
Round 10 continues after the bell.
Wow. Wow. That's all you can say. Wow. That right there is the reason why Holyfield is one of my, I'll say, top 5 boxers. And I, you know, of course, Ali's number 1. Because of the heart he showed in that fight. And like I said, he was behind on the cards. He could have mailed it in. He could have got his money. There was no way, I don't think he was going to come back unless he got a knockdown or knockout, you know, and which he tried to do in the 12th round. The 11th round, he actually did get knocked down by Bowe, but he came back. He tried it again, and he tried to win it in the 12th round. But of course, we know Riddick Bowe won the fight and became champion, and they end up having a rematch at some point, which I'll probably do a video on that as well. That was where the infamous fan man interrupted the fight, and Evander Holyfield won back the title from Riddick Bowe. And I can't wait till we do a reaction video on that. But that's where we're going to stop at for now. I want to hear what kind of inspirational sports story is your favorite. You know, people talk about Jordan in the flu game, this Evander Holyfield round 10 fight, Carrie Strug in the Olympics. I think she had like a twisted ankle, and she still went through in the Olympics. I think it was the 96 Olympics, and she did her jump and landed perfectly on both feet and ended up winning the gold medal. That was inspirational for people to see. When people are backed into a corner, when everything is not perfect for you, how will you handle adversity? And this fight that we just saw, this one round, he earned my respect more so than any fight that he's ever won. So With that being said, this has been The Last Rewind. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and we will see you on the next show of The Last Rewind. Peace.